Hi guys, so Maryland has a shelter-in-place order, as do many states, and I'm locked up inside with all of you. So I thought I'd just bring you all a little bit of joy and share some of my favorite recipes with you. Today I'm going to be making zucchini bread, and I'm very excited because I haven't made it in a while, and it's really one of my favorites. So what we need for this recipe is 3 eggs, 1.5 cups of sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon each of cinnamon, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. And baking powder and baking soda are not the same thing, so just make sure you have both. And we need 1.5 cups of chopped walnuts. And I don't think I said it yet, but this is the magic ingredients, which is 1 cup of oil. So this is. We also need 2 cups of grated zucchini. So I'm gonna. Okay, so I have washed my zucchini really well on the outside because these things are traveling everywhere. People are putting their hands on them, and it's just kind of gross. Even though I'm not using the peel, it's good to start off with the peel washed. So now I'm going to grab my mandolin over here, and I am going to grate 2 cups of zucchini. So for this part, you can actually use a food processor. It goes faster. Obviously, it's less effort, but I'm totally fine with doing it this way. I've got nothing but time right now, and oh, it's quite the workout. Okay, so now that I have all my ingredients ready, I'm going to start mixing it all up. So the first thing you want to do is combine your sugar and your eggs. So what I did was I took my flour, as well as baking soda, salt, cinnamon, and baking powder, and I put it through a sifter, and I added a little bit at a time, and this basically prevents clumping and really makes sure that your dry ingredients are well distributed through your recipe. I like to hit it like this. It's kind of like making snow. Okay, so we're almost done with this part. Got a little bit more here. And then after this, we are going to go ahead and fold in, oh Lord, okay, fold in some of our other ingredients. So I will continue here. And because I am who I am, I forgot to add the oil. But guess what? It hasn't gone in the oven yet, so it's not too late. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue here. So another great thing about this recipe is that it doesn't call for any yeast. And I don't know about you guys, but if anybody is a baker and has tried to go and get yeast, I haven't been able to find it, maybe on Amazon. So I'm going to slowly add the oil now. Just drizzle it in a little at a time. Okay, so at this point, your batter should be super shiny, and it has a lot of viscosity, but once we put the zucchini in, the zucchini holds a lot of water, and we want that because it's gonna make it really moist. That along with the oil. Now you can cut back on sugar, which I did, and you can cut back on the walnuts. If you don't like walnuts, you can leave them out altogether, but do not cut back on the oil because that's what really makes this recipe the best that it can be. It's just so moist and delicious. Okay. All right, so now instead of beating, I'm going to fold the ingredients in, the rest of the ingredients. So let's take these off. And I don't know about you guys, I know you're not supposed to lick the beaters because of the eggs, so I don't recommend that you do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. So now I'm going to get, oh my God, that's good. That's really good already. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start incorporating, folding in the zucchini. It's actually only 2.5 cups of zucchini, so. Let me do something here. I'm just gonna use the same cup that I had the oil in. And I'm gonna use my hand because I'm at home and it's for us, so I really don't care. So I'm just gonna put 2 cups. This is a 2-cup measuring cup. So I'm gonna measure out 2 cups here. And I might even put a little extra. There we go. All right, and then I'm gonna put that into my mixture and rinse my hand off. Okay, and I'm just gonna fold this into my mixture. Now, I'm noticing that this zucchini is not particularly wet, so we'll see what happens, but it should be fine. Okay, once I've folded in the zucchini really well, I'm going to go ahead and put in, I think it was 1.5 cups of walnuts, which I measured out as well. And I'm gonna fold these in. I actually could not find chopped walnuts. I could only find whole, so, or half, I guess. So I had to chop these up, and I'm noticing that there's some pretty big chunks in here. But again, who cares? It's all going in the same place, in my stomach. So I'm pretty sure there's like not much you can do to mess up this recipe, and it's just so easy and so good. It's comfort food, great with tea or coffee, either way. Okay. Okay, so typically I would have 2 of these and fill them up about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way, but I only have 1. So instead, I'm going to try this pan of mini loaves and see how far I get. First I have to grease the pan and then flour it lightly. So again, I'm gonna use my sifter, and I'll show you how that's done in a minute. This is actually a fun activity to do with kids because kids love to get their hands all messy. So you can just take little chunks of butter or margarine or whatever it is you use and assign one of the kids the buttering of the pan. And they'll love that. So one of my idols is Ina Garten. If you know Ina, she's just so precise with everything. So lovely. She cooks and it's just such a relaxing thing to watch. But I feel more like Julia Child, and I don't know if you've ever watched Julia Child's. She would kind of throw stuff together and things would be flying all over the place. Shrimp over here and salad over there, and somehow at the end, miraculously, it always just looked marvelous. So I kind of feel like her, not so much the marvelous part, but the things flying everywhere. And all the grand mistakes. So the other day I made a ham and cabbage salad, and it was really good. It turned out great. It had mayonnaise, and I incorporated the mayonnaise with the cabbage with my hands. And then I cleaned up and I was ready to eat. I plated it, I sat down, and I noticed that my rings were missing. And lo and behold, after about 5 minutes of looking in the salad, I found them. So that's why I say I feel more like Julia Child's. Hopefully everything will turn out okay in the end. All right, okay, here's another fun and messy part. So now I'm going to flour these. All right, that's plenty. So I'll throw the rest away. So what you want to do is you want to kind of put it on its side, and so you make sure that all the sides are covered. And maybe we do it onto another pan so it doesn't get all over our surface. Yeah. Do all 4 sides like that. Extra, you can just take to the sink and just tap your pan over the sink. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and start putting the batter into my pans. I'm going to use a spoon because these are individuals. I think it'll just go easier that way. Okay. I'm going to fill them up about halfway to about 3/4 of the way. Fun thing about cooking is that it's always an experiment, and if it doesn't work out, there's no tragedy involved. You can just always try it again and change it up the next time. But I'm pretty confident that this is going to turn out awesome. Okay, so the recipe calls for baking these for 1 hour and 10 minutes at 325 degrees. However, that's usually for the bigger loaves. So I'm gonna try 40 minutes at 325 and see what happens. So here I go. Okay, we'll let those bake, and I'll follow up with you when the timer goes off. Okay, so if you recall, at one point I said that there's pretty much nothing you can do to ruin this recipe. I was wrong. You can actually burn them in the oven. They're a little overdone, it looks like to me. I'm gonna check them, pull them out of the oven, check them, and see if they're cooked inside. This is a convection oven, and again, I had never used these mini loaf pans before, so let's see what happens. Okay, so to test for doneness, I'm just gonna take my knife and I'm gonna poke it in there, and it's clean. So they must be done inside. I'm gonna let them cool for a while and then plate one, maybe make myself some coffee or tea and see what it tastes like. Okay, so I have poured myself a cup of tea and I have sliced up one of the loaves, and hopefully it's everything I remembered. Okay. It's not everything. It's not bad, but I think using the mini loaves, whatever, maybe dried it out a little bit. It's still totally edible. Anyway, I think I recommend that you use the bigger loaf pans because that way the time that it stays in will be more accurate. Again, I'm still gonna eat them.